Hello everyone. Welcome. Sorry about the bad lighting. If anything, I've learned when I do a recording in my living room here where I actually play my games and watch YouTube and stuff to relax, and that is that the lighting in here sucks very much because the light is right underneath me and it causes a horrifying glow, and all the windows cause the camera's lighting to be just off the foot. So anywho, the title of this video is something about like very important or please watch or something like that. I haven't made up my own mind, but let's get on with the point. So there's primarily two things I really want to discuss. Is about the kindness of my viewer base and real life stuff. So if either of those two things don't really interest you or that, then you can go away. But personally, you know, if you watch my videos, I do feel like this is something you should know, or I am going to ask for your feedback on something. So I really like anyone who does watch my videos to give feedback on this. So, but basically, if you're just a random person popping in and that, and you're already not even interested, it's probably not going to interest you. So, moving on. So, first thing, Amazon wishlist. I've actually had 3 people ask about this. And they basically asked, do I have an Amazon wishlist? And I do. I've actually shown in a video before, but it's never been a public wishlist. I've always used it to basically keep a list of titles, and I got a little pop-up on my window there. A list of titles that I'm interested in, and I would occasionally go to the list and look up current pricing and deals and stuff, and add and remove as necessary as I get games and that. And that's basically what I always used my wish list for, just to, especially for really weird titles I can't even fucking say, because then you know, I would forget what the hell it's spelled or anything, and so it basically helps me keep track of shit like that. So my Amazon wish list has never been like some kind of serious actual thing for gifts, but I've had people ask about it. So I'm going to provide a link to a public wish list now that if you desire, you can purchase something that would be sent to me. Now, I want to illustrate something very important about this. For the love of humanity, do not feel like you have to do this. For the love of humanity, don't buy something that costs a lot of fucking money, okay? Seriously, it's like, I would, like, you know, I would feel just amazed that you would spend tons like that, but that is not the idea. It's like, some people have sent me things, you know. I've had a viewer who sent me a Game Gear game, this, this paint job, Game Boy Color, a little Pikachu watch. I had an anonymous person send me these in a very questionable game that I ain't gonna talk about here. But he sent me these. I don't even know who sent me these yet. And of course, my very first thing anyone ever sent me was the European version of Dead Rising 2 Zombiacs edition, which comes with a syringe pin in a very nice steel case in that. And I definitely appreciate these things, though they make me feel so special and warm. Like, if, I don't know if it's very hard to tell, but you can see the little Pikachu watch has been hanging out underneath kanji for quite a few videos of that, hanging off the little middle thing he's been hanging on. I mean, I put the colored Game Boy on my shelf with all my collectible stuff, so, and of course the Dead Rising 2 Collector's Edition has been on my collector's shelf, so it of course makes me feel awesome when people do that, you know. It's such a nice thing, and I've done that before with YouTubers long ago when YouTube was fresh and new, and a lot of stuff wasn't like how it is now, and I have added a lot of things to my wish list And primarily, the idea was to try and get things that are affordable and not tons of money. But be aware, my wish list does have things that are expensive. Actually, something that I did recently add yesterday, and I added it because it's one of those funky titles, and it's Suda 51's newest title, and it's a European version because the US didn't get a physical version of it, and it's called Short Piece Wanaku. I'm not even going to try, but it's a really short game, and it's currently really expensive. It's going for $70 on Amazon, so, you know, like, that is not, like, here, please buy me that. Like, I mean, if you did, oh my goodness, my jaw would hit the ground, but that is not the point of it, though. The point of it is to hopefully one day see it be maybe $60. I mean, I could be willing that, but, like, $70+ is just way too much in my opinion for just a physical disc. I may break down one day, but right now, when I have extra money or something, but yeah, there's a lot of 10 titles I mostly put on, additionally that, so, basically, you know, if you really want to give an anonymous surprise kind of thing, or the reason these 3 people asked, because they wanted an idea, because, you know, I have a lot of games, you know. Every day you see one of my videos on my main channel, and this is going to be on my main and Let's Play channel, so if you'll only watch my Let's Play channel, you have no idea what I'm talking about then. But, you know, I have this giant shelf with tons of games filling it to the brim. And, you know, it's like, I don't know where to begin if I wanted to give you a gift. So, this is kind of to give an idea of just some gift ideas if you're actually considering that. It's definitely very kind and nice and all that. But you are welcome to ask, or, because, I mean, all the people who sent this stuff, except for this one, I don't even know how the person did this. I guess my address that I've been letting people ship to, which is not where I'm living, it's my parents' address, I have said that before, but, actually somehow shipped this, so I'm not quite sure how that happened exactly. But, basically, it's just so you can get an idea, anonymous, but you're perfectly welcome to ask or anything if you want to. But this is not mandatory, this is not something you have to or anything like that. It's just there for anyone who wants to. And for the love of humanity, like I said, don't buy expensive shit. I'm not going to stop you, because like I said before, I'm not going to stop someone, but I really, really would feel really weird if somebody did. But there's affordable stuff on there, so, like, don't go look for Spud's Eventual, because the last time I saw that on Amazon, that was $200. That's just if I ever see that at a store or something. That's something I'll probably never get. But, yeah, you know, just, if you're looking for an idea for a gift, it's an easy go, click, buy, and get sent from the wish list. So, that's one way you can either help, support, or be generous if you want to. Like I said, it's not mandatory, it's not something you're being, it's just there for the people who ask, and future people who are interested. And I'm going to put somewhere on my YouTube channel, which, looking at now, if I could go, I'll probably put in, like, the About area or something. I could probably add, yeah, I can add a link in the URL and that, so I'll probably add it into my About sections, and we'll go from there, you know. Now, the thing I want feedback on is, one person asked me, am I going to make a Patreon page? Now, if you don't know what Patreon is, and you watch YouTube videos a lot, you must not be subscribed to anyone big, because almost every big YouTube channel has been making a Patreon page, and it's pretty crazy. Almost every day I see somebody now making a Patreon page, and sorry, I was just bringing it up. And, like, I mean, hell, Vati from the Souls community is, like, one of the big front page ones. And what it is it's basically a continuous tip jar. Now, this in no means is, hey, I'm going to make a Patreon page thing. Basically, I don't feel like I'm even in a position to make one, to be honest. Because, for one thing, you know, I just blab in front of a camera, for the most part, and just show me playing video games on my Let's Play channel. It's not anything fancy, huge, or anything. But, I mean, I discussed it with the viewer that, you know, while I feel incredibly flattered by you thinking I could actually do that, in practice, I think it would send more of a negative feel through the viewer base I have currently. Well, I'm sure some of you would probably love to say, you know, I wouldn't mind throwing you $1 a month or something. I don't think everyone would feel the same, though. And, I mean, every single person I've seen do a Patreon thing is, of course, had negative things. Like, there's, what's his name? It's Scott something. He did the, oh, what is it? Was it Dark Sauce or Dark General? I think it was Dark General. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was Dark General, Scott Falco. He just did a Patreon video yesterday. And, like, he just got tons of negative feedback on the bottom, like, people saying he don't deserve it, he's shit, and stuff. And, you know, that's going to happen no matter what. If you have a huge fan base and you did that, that's going to happen no matter what. There's somebody who's not going to like the idea of that. And I feel like that's just going to send more of a negative thing through my viewer base. However, I did tell him, you know, though, if you really feel strongly about it, let's talk about it. What do you think? What do you feel? Do you feel like that's something I should do? I mean, I tried to do things based on the viewer base. I have tried to ask everything and things, and I just feel it would just send a negative ripple through the small viewer base I already have. And really, I think Patreon would be more for somebody bigger anyway. So, while I feel extremely flattered by it, I don't really see it in the feasible future. Really, I think if you really want to contribute something, it would just be simple to either use the Amazon wish list or just ask to send something to me. I mean, if you really want to contribute something or give something of that. I mean, it is very flattering. It's incredibly flattering to think anyone would want to do that for me. That is really flattering. But I just can't really imagine a lot coming from it. And there is a second reason for that too. And that has to do with YouTube. And that's, I guess it's a magical secret third thing to talk about, actually, when talking about YouTube earnings. Obviously, I can't talk about numbers or anything because that's against the rules and that, so I can't talk about that. I can talk about that, you know, you have to report taxes on YouTube earnings, and of course, being the first time I ever actually made any earnings, 2013's taxes for, you know, due this April, which was done that. Basically, you have to do a separate form for self-employed money that you earn. You can't just do it on your normal tax form. It has to be on a special form that's for self-employed. That special form basically costed like 90% of the earnings I made off YouTube in my entire time ever making anything on YouTube, which wasn't a lot. So don't think it's like I only made just a little teeny. So, and in no way am I trying to like say. I'm just trying to say that you know, I said like earnings and that from YouTube would go towards things. You know, I bought the DS recording and cables with a PSP in a PSP 2000 model and stuff to get more recording capabilities. And in the future, I wanted to save up for better recording software. You know, get off of Waxio and go up to a better quality. I mean, I'm not usually some big quality person, as I've said before, but, you know, I do want to improve it. And, you know, that just really is just a fucking hit in the face, you know? So, one of the things I do want to focus more on this year is try to spread my channel more. And, of course, because if I want to reach that kind of stuff, I sadly have to try and make a little more. But of course, I don't want to be like, oh, subscribe, and do all this, and then you know, I don't want to, obviously, like, basically become a YouTube whore, I guess you could say, you know. Now, something I am considering doing is, wow, not like put a subscribe button stuff in the video, because, you know, it always exists on the page. I mean, I never really understood that myself. I mean, it's on the page. Why does it need to be like bing, 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 bing? Now, I have been considering doing like the thumbnail kind of thing at the end of videos to kind of split off to either interesting videos, good videos that I've had, or videos related or some. And, you know, there's good and bad about that. The good would be, you know, it would allow people to find additional videos without having to go in my YouTube channel and either do random searches on titles or just look through all the videos. The negative, of course, is more time consumption. While admittedly I don't usually highly edit like the videos I do with my camcorder, I do do lots of editing with my gameplay. So my Let's Play channel would be more likely one that would do like little thumbnails to other playthroughs and stuff. But that also involves getting a lot of links and stuff through YouTube and that. And that's the thing is, you know, I have a full-time job. You know, if I didn't have a full-time job, you know, if I was in the position of certain people who don't have, and, you know, what would be considered a normal job, going to a building, doing so-and-so for 10 hours a day and that, you know, I would have tons of freaking time to do that. I mean, that's why, you know, though, you know who, you know, when people bitch at him for not editing when he actually does for a living, is his videos. So, but, you know, we're not here to talk about him. But, you know, I have a 40-hour job. I work 40 hours each week, and that time frame is something else that I want to talk to you about too, because sadly something has came up work-related too. But we're gonna save that for last, because, you know, that's a more personal life thing. It affects the channel, but that's more of a personal life thing. And, you know, I wanted to get more viewer through YouTube related matters out of the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm flattered by gifts and somebody asking about Patreon. That, I mean, that's very flattering. But I really don't feel like Patreon's a thing that's a good idea at the moment. Maybe, you know, in the future, far future, if I ever actually become somewhat a little bigger, maybe as a little like tip jar or something like that. But the tax thing is basically a bigger reason, in my opinion, to really not do Patreon right now. Because Patreon, you also have to do taxes on. And that means another special form that costs a certain amount of money. And I'm not going to mention that price because, like I said, I can't talk about numbers and stuff, and that would give you an idea. But basically, they would be taxed too. And while I personally don't know if they could be lumped on the same form with, like, YouTube, they might be. I don't know. I'd have to ask about it. But either way, they would be taxed. So if they can't, then that would definitely mean it would have to earn a certain amount. And then I would feel like I need to be like, hey, people, can you, you know, and, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to encourage people to throw money at me. You know, I feel so proud if somebody just does out of the random kindness of their heart, but I don't want to turn into somebody who's trying to encourage to rope you in, to make you be like, please give me a few dollars for bread and water and electricity and that. I mean, I have a stable job. I have money. I own my car. I can afford my bills, new games and stuff. I'm not in some hurt position where I need to beg for money or anything. I feel incredibly awesome when somebody's willing to be generous with giving something or that. I mean, a gift is a great way to express appreciation for something, you know. And I mean, that's like, I sent something to Spoonie once, a long time ago, off his wish list, and it was just some random game of that. So I mean, but that was way back in his earlier existence. Though I'm not trying to say I don't like Spoonie. I still watch Spoonie. I'm just saying he's a lot, you know, a big old person now. But a lot of people are doing Patreon. Actually, even Spoonie actually has a Patreon page. I don't know how long it's been up, but yeah, lots of people have been doing Patreon. So, well, I don't think Patreon's a bad idea. I just think it needs a little better structure when it comes to how it will fall as to rewards when it comes to, like, video content creators, because there's not a lot of things you can do there. I mean, there's, you know, a lot of these people, like, we're going to have special streams and chat rooms and stuff, and, well, I mean, it is my subjective opinion, but those are kind of shitty rewards, to be honest. But there's not a lot you can really give, and when you're a video creator, limiting what your viewer base can see or interact with, to me, feels harmful to a video creator personally. Like a personalized chat room or something, I can understand, but like just any of your video creations feel like a harmful effect when you're just like, well, the people who paid $500, the 50 of you get to watch this one particular video, and no one else does. You know, it feels like a, you want that special pre-order box and all that fancy shit comes in it, where you better go up to $120, come on. Or like what Elder Scrolls Online did with the Imperial Waste, like $20, $20, you know, it just feels like some kind of paywall. Actually, exactly, that's exactly what it feels like, a cell phone game paywall, just being like, whoa, and like, maybe in other things where you could involve physical goods more in would make sense that way, but with just videos, it just seems with videos. But again, that's just an opinion, that's just me, so but yeah, I don't think it's a good idea, but you know, maybe you think it is, you know, like I said, I'm asking my community what you think. So if you think it's a bad idea, Let me know you think it's a bad idea. Please be honest with me. Like, I do not have a problem with you saying that you hate Patreon or you hate this or that. Your opinions are what are gonna, make future ideas. So, constructive feedback. Good, bad. Throw it out there. Down below. So, last thing. Work-related, which, like I said, will affect YouTube's YouTube videos coming out at certain times then. So I have said that, I bid on a temporary position, a quality job, and it basically will last to somewhere to like mid-July. Odds of going past that are very low. So apparently one person in the weekend shift quality has bidded out on a new position in machining. And my trainer took her position on weekends. So, and she was filling in for overtime slots. So now that she actually does weekend shift as her main position, all her slots have became empty. And originally they had no plans of making me do overtime because I was a trainee, and the main idea was for me just to help out on weekdays until weekend shift ends. The person who bidded to weekend scroll comes back to quality on weekdays, and I go back to final pack and all that jazz. But so basically it's like, well, now you're gonna do overtime. So this weekend I'm free. This is being recorded on May 4th. So, but it is this weekend will be my last weekend off for quite a while. I'm basically working one day every single week up to July 27th. And I have 2 papers with a whole schedule information now. And it's really long. Every single weekend. Actually, one of them, where is it? There was one right here. July 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm scheduled for Friday and Sunday of that weekend. And what really sucks is a lot of them are on Saturdays. What a way to ruin your weekend. To have, work, a day off, you can't fucking stay up to midnight, get up early, work, you can't, you got a day off, can't stay at midnight, and then a full week of work and that. So, this means more overtime money. Now, my Wii U and my Vita both came in a lot of, a whole juzzled amount of games at a time of kind of late January, I think it was around, like, a lot, especially the Vita, it's like, I was getting all that overtime at that time, and, I bought a Vita, because I have extra money and shit, and, I hate the front room's lighting. It's like, come on, light. But, so, this means more overtime money. And I'm not quite sure at the moment, because, there's still bills and things to do. I got, basically, the first week or the last week of the month, I start getting my bills. So, right now is bill time for, city bills, electric bills, and crap like that, all that stupid crap. But, if I end up getting a decent amount of overtime money, I might consider getting one of the next consoles, which basically leaves PS4, because I said this is the time of year I won't buy an Xbox One. And, I think that's paying off in 2 ways. One, it's punishing them for being dumbasses when they first announced the thing with all the DRM and shit. Second thing, they're doing all kinds of wheeling and dealing to try and get people to buy it, so by next year, I feel like there will be a price cut, and there will probably be lots of weird bundle shit. by then, so next year will probably be the year to get an Xbox One if I end up with spare cash next year. But if I end up with enough spare cash, I might consider getting a PS4. There isn't a lot of games for the PS4 that interest me at the moment, but I've been hearing a lot of exciting Japanese titles, and we already got our first announcement of a Japanese RPG coming to the US for the PS4, but it's also on the PS3, I believe, so it's not like a big yay, you know, it's not like, oh, it's that big system seller one. So, okay, but, yeah, basically, you know, if you've watched my channel for at least a year, you know that when I have overtime, it sometimes causes getting my Let's Play videos out there a little, and you know, you got to see that a little during Persona 4. Well, I did try to keep Persona 4 going every single day I could, but, like, for Christmas week, I, you know, kind of took a week off. And there was a few other moments where I either had to only release one video of one of my playthroughs or something, or some random PvP or something I had an extra video of instead because I didn't get the time to edit and upload and that. And, you know, with my streams and that, which I haven't done in quite a while, like I said before in the update video I released just recently before I knew any of this crap with overtime. If I did, you know, I would have mashed in at the end. But it just kind of sucks because I try to keep content going, you know. I try to have 2 Let's Plays a day of two different titles to, you know, if one doesn't interest you, maybe the other one will interest you. Try to keep it interesting, and I try to give just little talky videos on my main channel out my opinions and thoughts on titles coming out and things, and, you know, it just eats up time, you know. The sitting down that is usually simple. That's simple, you know. I just sit down or stand up and blab away. That's easy. But, you know, the recording and that is not a hard process of doing. It's getting all the footage cut up, edited into episodes, and then uploading, which is also very time consuming if you don't have super fast internet. My average 15-minute kind of Let's Play videos usually take about 2 hours to upload one. And that's why usually I set tons of them to upload when I go to work. So, like the 30-minute PvP things and stuff like that take a lot of time. Of course, that's based off file size. Like, the Deadly 30 was a bit low quality. That was something I did when I was sick, and it had no commentary because I was sick, so, you know, you were... But I mean, those were low quality, so, you know, those weren't as horrifyingly bad, but stuff like the Dark Souls PvP stuff, that's a bit lengthy, and some new ones I done now, about 34-ish minutes. That takes a little more time in that, so, you know, like I said before, it's not really hard. It's just time consuming. It's time consuming, and it's worse when you have a job. You know, when you have all the free time in the world, it's not really an issue. But when you have a job, it's, you know, it's hard, this stuff. I only get 3 days off, and, you know, with the overtime, it just hurts that more. 2 days, 1 day, you know, your body recuperating from work and shit, it's... I feel bad that I'm just, like, trying to make excuses, but, you know, that's the reality of it, you know. You don't just amazingly have all the free time, and, you know, for anyone who would want to say, why not take a laptop to work or something, I work in a factory that's basically, I don't know why, really, because it's not like it's some at least to me, horrifying secret or something. But basically, it's like no cell phones, no cameras, no camcorders, no any electronic and shit. You know, basically, you can get fired for that. So, you know, that's not an option, sadly, either, unless you're like an engineer or the computer programmers in the building, basically, or the higher-ups who can carry their phones with them. But, I mean, that's not an option either. So, I mean, if I could, that would actually help, because during, like, the 30-minute lunch breaks and that, I could actually do some editing and shit. But, that sadly isn't an option, sadly, which is really a shame. But, so, right now in my free time this weekend, I'm going to want to try and get as much as I can possible, because every weekend is going to be more horrifying than the last, because, you know, obviously, you know, how tired you get from after work would vary person to person, but, you know, every day gone is just one day less you have to relax, recuperate, kind of gather your sanity of your humanity before you start going hollowed out from all the overtime. I mean, it was a few years ago, but I remember one year where we basically had to work every single day, and we had only one day off every weekend, and I think it was Saturday every weekend, so we worked it from Sunday to Friday with one day off, and that was for like 5 months straight, and I was like on the brink of just going insane. Like, I was just going hollow like fuck. I mean, I had used so many sick days just to get a 2-day weekend. It was just fucking ridiculous and inhumane. It was just awful. That was an awful thing. And that was before I really started doing YouTube stuff commonly. I think back then it was like around like when I did like Dead Rising 2 with a little webcam of that. So, you know, it just really sucks, sadly, but on the upside, you know, it's, you know, I've always talked about the quality thing, and there's only one real bad egg in the group, and sadly she is horrifyingly annoying, but everyone else is alright, helpful, or at least, you know, reliable aside from her. The one bad egg is just, sadly, something that exists no matter what you're going to do, sadly, is just, you're always going to have that one bad egg who's either lazy, or jackass, or grumpy, or not a people person, you know, something like that. So, not going to get around that ever. But, overall, I don't think it'll be as horrifying, because stress-wise, it has been a lot better. It has been a lot better on stress. It's a lot more running around, paperworky, kinda, but it's still a pretty busy job, just not as horrifyingly physical labor. It's a lot more mental, which, oddly enough, reminds me of two of the positions I was best at Final Pack, so. But, that's pretty much all I got to really talk about. If you want to give feedback about the Amazon wishlist and Patreon, please leave a comment, or things like that. You know, this is the time to give feedback on what you feel about things happening and things to improve and go on about. But please keep in mind that consider time consumption in that too. You know, don't just be like, oh, this, and, you know, consider, if it's very time consuming, be a little, I mean, let me know about it, but don't just automatically think that won't be a issue, because especially right now it kind of is. But I mean, like, after the overtime, or maybe just during the overtime time of that, I wouldn't do it. But I want suggestions. I want ideas and your opinions on these things, you know. And lastly, basically, you know, if you really want to help with the channel, you know, I don't want to make this a common thing either. I know lots of big popular YouTubers do the subscribe button, like button, just be like, remember to like, subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. And I definitely don't want to do that, because I feel like you're all a bunch of intelligent people who know exactly how all that stuff functions and where to go to do it on the same page as the video. And I don't feel like I need to tell you to do that if you feel like you want to like or dislike, to subscribe or share and stuff like that. If you want to do that, you'll do that. I don't feel like I need to harass you about it. But basically, I do want to say I appreciate everyone who likes, shares the videos, shows them to friends, or introduces new people to it, or puts them on Facebook, Twitter, forums, whatever, you know? Because that helps show me to new audiences or find new people and stuff. And I definitely appreciate that. I really do. And that is another way to really help. Is because, like I said, I want to expand more knowledge of the channel. My two channels, my main and my Let's Play. But, you know, I don't want to be like making at the end of every video, please like, subscribe, and haul out my video everywhere humanly possible. Do it now every fucking day you see the video. You know, it's like, you already know how to do that stuff. And if you feel like it's deserving of any of those individual things, you'll do them. If you don't, then you won't. So, I mean, it's really that simple, and I don't really feel like wanting to do that, because I don't think you're stupid. I think you're all smart, intelligent people capable of thought, you know? I don't think anyone's stupid, so but I do want to stress out that, you know, it is incredibly helpful, and it is a way to help me. So if you are interested in helping, but you don't want to send a gift or something like that, but you still would like to do something like that, that's a way to help. And I will gravely appreciate that. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just a crappy lighting update about things going on in that. I'm sorry about the bad lighting, but, you know, I wanted to sit down about this, and, you know, I had several things to look up at. But yeah, I'm gonna, by the time this video goes live, you should see the Amazon wish list and the About on both my main and Let's Play channel. So if you're interested in that, those will be there. If you want to contact About through a different means or your own stuff for that, you're welcome to. Feedback about Patreon or the Amazon list, ideas, stuff like that, you know. And I guess you could give feedback on things at the end of videos and stuff that if you, like I said, this is time for feedback. This is a good time if you really wanted to provide ideas or give feedback on anything. Right now is a good time for that. So with that, I think I will call that a video. And good lord, wow, I wanted this to be a short video and I ended up talking too way long. If you really lasted this long to the end of this, I really appreciate you listening to all this. I understand that, you know, this doesn't necessarily directly concern you directly, because I know people who've done, you know, a porn video update, things like this, and then people are like, who the fuck cares? It only pertains to you, you know. That's why I wanted to generally get the idea of what I'm doing in the video in the beginning, so, you know, if you feel like that, you know, I don't want to waste your time. But I appreciate you listening to this tie-in thing, if you did. And please, feedback is a very good thing right now. And I appreciate anything and everything any of you ever done, whether it was just a simple like, a comment, and, you know, even just little things like that is just awesome, you know. It really makes me happy how many people watch my videos, and, you know, to like big YouTube people, you know, that's just pennies. But, you know, it's amazing to find, you know, like on my Let's Play channel, I mean, averagely, I don't have tons and tons of views on my Let's Play channel at a individual video base, but, you know, it just amazes me that how many views at times can come in, you know. Simply 50 views is just a lot to me, you know. I get a lot better views on my main channel, really. I mean, averagely, when one video comes out on my main channel here, I get anywhere between 30 to 60 views usually on the first weekish time. And, you know, to me, that's just amazing, you know? I mean, other people might be like, ah, boo, you just, well, you know, that's at least 30 plus people just watching for your opinion, you know? Maybe it is a little to some people, but, you know, I think that's something big in that. And, you know, it varies on the topic a lot. I mean, especially ones like about, sadly, sad news and stuff is sadly a common thing that does get a lot of views, and, you know, that kind of thing I don't like. You know, I've had 2 really sad videos, and, you know, I don't want to mention names and stuff, because I don't want to bring up horrible feelings and things, really, but, you know, those have no ads and anything on them, because it's just a matter of respect towards the fallen, you know, and, you know, those do get lots of views, and I think it's awful when people fucking try to make money off shit like that. That's just awful. But, hey, my Bravely Default went to 115, but a lot of Collector's Edition videos also get views. Pretty decent amount. But, and I do have some new ideas of, new video content, too. You know, the whole thing where, Kanji Tatsumi is mad, that actually gave me an idea, you know. I don't really want to make ranting a commonplace thing, but, you know, they're all really stupid things that are very face-palming. And, you know, I think the idea, actually, is an interesting show segment. Kanji Tatsumi is mad. Subject. You know, stupid shit in the world, you know. So, that's an idea I've been hopping around in my head, too. But anyway, this video is getting really long, and, you know, I have shut the hell up syndrome when it comes to trying to end the video. So, again, thank you, everyone. And, I mean, just a comment and a like is an awesome thing. And any feedback, like I said, is a good thing to hear right now. So, this video will be on my main and Let's Play channel. Is not going to affect my Let's Play videos of today. So, do not feel that they're being canceled or something for today. So, anyway, I hope you all will think about anything, you know, good, bad, negative. Seriously, be honest. Be literally honest with me. Because I don't want you to be just lying, sugarcoating it, so you don't feel like you're being bad or something. Please be very honest. Anyway, I'm going to end this. We're going to end this. We're going to end this with a Pikachu.